There comes a point, let's take Rutgers, they're struggling right now. They've lost 2 straight. They have some issues on both sides of the ball. You have to write about them. You talk to the players, you talk to the coaches. Now, it's very easy to be young and want to be critical right off the bat. It's very simple, it's very tempting, it's very easy to do, you have the answers. You just have to remember, at least from my perspective, that you have to go back to these people the next day. If you can write something and face that person the next day and say, hey, I thought I was fair. I had to do this. You know, you're not playing well. I have to be honest, and I was fair. That's the one code I've lived by in terms of when I'm critical, and people think that I am highly critical. You guys are going to be shocked at how much your writing style is going to change as you go older, as you mature, as you get life experiences. It's going to change. But it's good to write a lot. That's number one. And number two, it's good to be well read because you get to see how other people write. And then you're going to formulate a little bit of a style. And writing, to me, I don't care what happens in the future of this business, writing is never going to go out of style. People who can write are going to be able to do something. Because it's so, I mean, I get letters, I get emails, obviously, I get texts. You know, people can't write. If you can write, it's an invaluable asset for what you're trying to do. Writing, I can't even begin to emphasize how important it is, the ability to write. You know, don't get frustrated if things don't come easily. Writing, it happens to everybody. It's not a natural thing to just be a gifted writer immediately. It does. 99% of the people who get into this business are not immediately gifted writers, and if they are, they can't meet deadlines. So, you know, don't worry about that. You'll work your way through it, but you have to write, you have to read. From your perspective, as I was thinking about this coming in, because I've been doing this so long, I'm sort of in a network where most of the colleges will email me. I'll get information on awards. I serve on a lot of awards committees. Different press releases that come through. I have to be honest with you. Just this morning, I killed 10 of them, 12 of them maybe from my BlackBerry. They're not personalized. You know, I understand in this new era that you need to get the information out. You know, and texting is a lot easier. Email's a lot easier. But there's nothing like the personal touch. If somebody sends me a press release and says, hey, Tom, thought you might be interested in this, I am 99% more apt to read that than if somebody just blindly sends me a press release. The other thing is, never lose your phone skills. You know, I don't care what happens. You know, I know you guys, as I said, love to be on Facebook. I have kids, love to text. Never lose your phone skills because the most important thing to me is my BlackBerry. I mean, I have all my numbers in there. I have all my connections there. And you never know when you talk to somebody when you might get some information. You never know when they can steer you to somebody else who may help you in what you're trying to get done. Whether it's get out a press release, whether you're trying to sell a story. It's an interesting relationship between a journalist and the public relations people for schools. Obviously, the public relations people for schools want to present the school in the best light. And that's not to say that journalists go looking for something that's not positive. But sometimes there are stories that need to be written that aren't positive. You know, we're seeing stuff with Cam Newton right now. You know, that's when, if you're going into the public relations job, that's when it becomes extremely difficult. But that's also the test of how good you are, I think. Because if you're not accessible, helpful, at least contributing to people doing their jobs. I haven't met anybody in my business, maybe with the exception of 1 or 2 people, who want PR people to do their jobs for them. We just want to get you to assist or give us the tools to do our jobs. We can do the rest. You know, and that's basically what you're basically in an assist mode. Because if you give somebody a good story, they're going to develop it. You know, you just give me the heads up and say, hey, this kid is, he's closing in on 2,000 points and he works in the soup kitchens on Fridays in between games. Great. Tell me, how do I get in touch with him? Let me do my job. Can I talk to his parents? Let's find out where he's from. You know, we can develop a real story. And it doesn't have to be just a sports story. There are human interest stories that happen in sports. When you're that. And don't be bashful, as I said, picking up the phone, calling people, talking to people. Sports knowledge is great. People skills are even better. You know, especially what you guys are going in. Whether it's from my end or your end, people skills are the best thing you can have. As I said, reading, writing, the ability to write. And third, to me, the least important thing would be the sports knowledge. You have a guy on a beat, you're getting free publicity, number one, for your school, and 90% of those stories are going to be positive stories, or shed your school in a positive light. You know, you have to, sometimes you just have to take the blows. There's a negative story, something happens, you deal with it, you move on. One thing you have to remember, my name's always on every story. To me, it's easy to take a shot at someone, put it on the internet, post a blog without a name, anonymously. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. You know, put your name on something, show up the next day, meet that person that you just were critical of, and then I can stand here and say, you know what, you have a chance to be a good journalist. You know, because that's really what it comes down to sometimes. Easy writing the positive stuff, because everybody wants to help you. A lot tougher writing stuff when you have to be critical. Here's why. I'll tell you why. But first thing, the anonymity bothers me. You know, I don't think anybody should be able to write anything anonymously. I mean, if you have an opinion, it's America. Write what you want to say. You know, I mean, it's really that simple. Put your name on it, number one. My other issue with the bloggers, and there are way too many of them, is they are not bound by the same guidelines and ethics that we are. You know, they can print a rumor, and all of a sudden people start to get wind of it and they have to chase it down. I can't tell you how much time I spend during my day chasing down rumors that are on the internet about you know, this kid's ready to transfer, this kid's upset with his playing time, this kid's parents want to pull him out of school, this kid's flunking. You know, it's easy to put that stuff up without verifying it. I'm bound by different guidelines. You know, we have ethics. It's a very tough job market right now, and to be honest with you, besides the typewriter to the computer to the laptop evolution, I don't know where the future is going to be in terms of what you guys are going to deal with. Is it going to be a newspaper guy? I don't even know if there'll be newspapers around. Maybe electronically. There'll probably be something on the internet. You know, certainly there'll be TV and radio around. But I wish I could predict it and tell you what the challenges are for you guys. But to be honest with you, I never ever envisioned when I started with this typewriter that it would get to the point where it is now. So.